Hello, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining the October 6th Winnie and Kat Independent Stylist Conference call. Last month was really exciting and amazing, and lots of really cool things happened. So I just wanted to recap that, and I also want to thank all of you who are here on the call in person, and if you're calling in during the week. The calls are so important. You're going to hear from other stylists, you're going to hear company updates, and most importantly, you're going to stay connected and stay engaged in what's happening in the business. So we had 3 power sellers last month. Maria was a power seller for the first time. Wendy Farrell was a power seller for the first time. Very exciting. Wendy is in Vermont, Maria is in California, and Ellen in Clayton, Missouri, near St. Louis. So congratulations. Yep, coast to coast and in between. So that is super exciting, and you can do it. Everybody can do it. So and we've got some promotions too. We have 3 promotions. Cindy and Lisa got promoted to Stylist 2 in a very short time of being part of the company, and Mary promoted to Stylist 3. So, woohoo! Congratulations. Really, it is awesome, and congratulations to everybody. From the home office, our sales were $50,000. So that was a huge woohoo. And just to give you an idea, August sales were $36,000, and last September sales were $25,000. So you guys are amazing. Our stylists that we have such a great group of stylists, and it's all you making this happen. You're out there, and we're working on everything that we can do to make your business fun and easy to follow. And so, woohoo, I'm so excited about that. And we have a ton of parties on the books for October. So we're going to talk about, there's one slide. There's only one slide in today, because I want to talk about focusing. And the stylists, and I love looking at the attendee list on this call, because there's a big mix. There's brand new stylists, and there's stylists who have been with the company since the beginning. So last week, Lisa Connors shared, Lisa's a new stylist who was already promoted, and Lisa shared from her experience from other direct sales companies in building a large team, the power of 2, or bring 2 friends. And today we have Ellen, and Ellen, I'm going to take you off of mute there. Hey, Ellen.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
So today I asked Ellen to talk about, and Ellen's been with the company since August 2013.
April 2000.
Oh, April, I know. I knew it was an A. I always say, in fact, I used your story in my pitch at Chick Launcher, and I did say April. So Ellen's been a stylist since April, found us online on a Google search, and is an example of a stylist who's really stayed focused and committed to the things that are going to make your business grow. And Ellen said to me last week, we were having a conversation, and Ellen shared with me what she does as far as party bookings. And Ellen's been a power seller many, many months out of the months that she's been part of the company. And so Ellen shared with me tips about booking and how she always keeps her calendar full. So Ellen, I am going to, we'll kind of do this as like an interview style. And if anybody has questions or wants to know, this is a really good opportunity, as we're all here together on the call. Ask Ellen, and then if anybody else wants to offer something that works for you, please do. But take this time to ask questions and type them in the box, and then let me know if you can talk, and I'll take you off of mute too. So, Ellen, why don't you kind of start, if you can kind of start by sharing what it was that you told me about your bookings and your bookings from your hostesses from last year.
Okay, so I know you all are going to think I'm a broken record, but I always go back to the 6 weeks to success. So I actually printed out the whole packet, listened to all the recordings, and so I'm just going to go over one thing that struck me when I first kind of went through the 6 weeks to success is on page 8. It says, there's nothing more impressive than a full calendar. We have a tendency to want what we can't have and to want what everyone else has. So, you know, I was always about, you know, the calendar on my phone and on my computer, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to go back to paper calendar. I don't really want to do it. And so it was January 2014, and I walked into Office Depot, and they had this cute, you know, Winnie and Cat pink colored calendar. And I was like, okay, I'm going to force myself to get this paper calendar. So I got the paper calendar, and, you know, I was remembering back to the 6 weeks to success about how important it is to have your paper calendar out at your trunk shows and bring a pencil. And so that, you know, when you are sitting down, and this is when I like to do it, is when I'm sitting down placing my customer's order, I get my paper calendar out and bring a pencil, and then I share the new amazing hostess rewards, and also that the hostess from that party gets to spend $50 at, you know, her party if she books a trunk show. And one thing that going back to the 6 weeks to success, one thing that it says is, you know, make sure your calendar looks full, because obviously everybody wants what they can't have. So I thought, well, and I think in the 6 weeks to success it says even if you have to write in faux trunk shows. Well, I didn't think that that was really honest, so I didn't want to do that. So what I did do though is I wrote in all of my 2013 trunk shows, and what that forced me to do was, you know, when I was in July, I looked at August and September, and I'm like, oh, you know, Jill had a party on that day and Katie had a party on that day. So I went back to those hostesses that hosted in 2013, and I said, you know, this is Ellen from Winnie and Cat, and we have our fall line is coming out, and you hosted a party last year, and I know, you know, I'd love to bring the fall collection to you and your friends. And so what happened was I got all of my past hostesses to host again, and I've created, and then I had new hostesses for the month. So all of a sudden I'm looking at 2014, and I was just like, the light bulb went off, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have twice as many trunk shows as I did in 2013. And so then I was really excited, because I'm like, well, gosh, in 3 years, I mean, I'm going to have, you know, 3 times as many, and gosh, in 5 years, I can't imagine I'm going to be, you know, having 3 trunk shows or 4 or 5 a week. So that's that was my aha moment when I was talking to Diane, and I was explaining the calendar to her and what I realized, and so that's what has helped. Another thing that I wanted to go over, I kind of marked in the book here. So it says that your customers and your hostesses are your #1 resource for finding new bookings. These are the ladies that already know you and know your product and do not have to be sold on the idea of having a trunk show. So, you know, it suggests go back through your past order forms and your calendar, look at your hostesses that have previously had a party, and really target the people that are already hooked, is basically kind of what I do. So do you have any questions? You want me to go on more? Or?
So Ellen, what are you going to do? What are you going to do then for the spring? Do you go back to spring from last year, or are you going to take the fall people, or even like for fall now, what about the new spring hostesses? Do you put those into fall too?
So what I did actually ask a gal that did a spring show to do a fall show, and she said, no, I really just want to do one a year. So what I've kind of figured out is, my November, December parties, hopefully I'll be able to bring new hostesses in to do, January, February, March, but then also look back at spring of 2014 and hit up those hostesses who hosted in spring. So it almost, the longer you're in the business, the more, you're going to double and then triple and then quadruple is kind of my projection.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, okay, so here's a question from Anastasia.
Okay.
So Anastasia said, my recent objection has been pricing. They don't, I'm hearing that they won't spend that much and don't feel comfortable asking their friends to spend that either. How do you address pricing objections, Ellen?
Okay, so I usually will suggest to somebody that
And do you get pricing objections?
some I have gotten some, and then what I do is I just suggest that they host their own party, and then if they would have the objection about asking their friends, because they're not comfortable with the pricing, um, I would just say, well, how many times have you gone to a party where you know that that is kind of the drill, and you're going to these trunk shows, even if your friends just buy one thing, that will add up so that you can get hostess rewards. That's how I would
Okay. And
approach it.
the deeper that we go into the business, actually, the less I hear, but I do, one of the things that I will say is, well, I'll ask them where they shop, you
Mm-hmm.
know, um, and and also explain that once you see it, like you kind of have to see it and experience it. And I also feel like when somebody says something like, my friends won't spend that either, that's that's projecting sort of onto what you're thinking or what your fears are. And
Mm-hmm.
some of our most successful stylists started out with objections. You know, like the pricing objections. And then we talk about, well, what we're about, that's, you'll notice that we have 19 pieces in our core collection. How many times would when you think about going to the mall, wherever they shop, the experience of going to the mall, how many times you're going to have to replace, whatever they say, if they say, I shop at Target or, whatever, how many times they're going to have to replace that item. Also, to me, a lot of what we offer, we're a value-added service. So we bring the clothing to you and we offer an experience where we style you and simplify your wardrobe. We're going to save you time and money by being able to easily coordinate your outfits. We're going to make you more efficient in the other parts of your life. And the cost per wear, like Anastasia answered that question, besides being made in the U.S., and, not everybody cares about that. But we're made in the United States by people we know. But, I frankly, like when you look at our clothing, I mean, our wrap dress, for example, is $88. You will find a similar dress, Diane von Furstenberg, for over $300. We take actually, well, that might seem like, $88 might seem like a lot to you for a wrap dress. When you think about where we use the same factories as top designers who are sold in high-end department stores, and we're able to bring that price down because we don't have bricks and mortar, and we're able to offer it direct to the customer. So those are some different things. Amy suggested you can offer a cost per wear. Yeah, a couple of you said the cost per wear scenario. You know, how many times do you use that? How many times do you wear it? But does anyone else have you know, and if you look,
I also use that as well. I compare it to our line to Splendid, and then also Eileen Fisher, which Eileen Fisher is very, very expensive.
uh-huh.
And I actually, and I'll say, you know, it's comparable to Eileen Fisher, but cuter and with a more, you know, up-to-date look.
And Tiff had a suggestion too, so I'm going to pass the microphone to her.
Okay.
Hey everyone. You know, a lot of times when people talk about the price, I'll say what you're seeing when you're looking at our price point are pieces that are ethically made here in the U.S. by people we know. And it's made top to bottom in the U.S. as well, which is an important issue. And then I always try to follow it up with a question like, what's important to you in the garments you buy? Is it quality? Is it that it's made in the U.S.? Is it all of the above? I'll also, if they talk about their friends, you know, my friends won't spend that. I might ask them, you know, how would it feel if I gave you permission to not worry about what your friends are going to spend? You know, let's just get together. Let's have fun. That's what it's about. You know, I'm going to give you permission not to worry about what your friends spend and, you know, let them be in charge of that. So those are some ways that I've addressed it successfully and had, you know, some success with that. So thank you.
Thanks, Tiff. You know, another thing I will say about it, and I really we spent a lot of time on this, but it's also your own reality, because I hardly ever hear that objection. You know, quite frankly, and our prices have gone down so much, and so and more often than not, what I hear is those are great prices. So that's something that I think is really important, because and everywhere, you know, and Anastasia had asked this question, and, you know, and Janessa has had a couple of great parties, you know, and I really do believe also that, like, you know, everyone on this call, we all love the direct sales model, right? We all know what it does to empower people, okay? So I'm not going to spend a lot of time with somebody. Like, it is not my responsibility to convince someone who thinks that we're a pyramid that we're not. You know, I will answer the question, and I will move on to the 2 million women in the United States who sell clothing and accessories in direct sales. Okay, so that's kind of the same thing that I feel like for this, you know, the group that thinks that the pricing's too expensive, you know, because there's a lot of people who don't. And I think that's something that's very important, and that's sort of like that we get into our own, we get it in our own way, because I think and I know, and it's, I mean, I will tell you that there are women who live in the same zip code here in Los Angeles where one has told me one objection and the other one has consistent over $1,000 parties. So I think that's, you know, that's something that I think is really important to keep in mind as well. Whew. That was helpful. So what else, Ellen? What else? What keeps you going, Ellen? Like, what is it that you think wants your hostesses to book parties?
What was that question?
What is it that keeps you going with all the parties, and why do you feel that your hostesses want to do parties?
I think the hostesses really are in love with the clothes, and it's kind of something different, at least here in Missouri. There's been a lot of other jewelry direct sales companies, and so and some of the other clothing direct sale companies are a bit higher priced, and so this is something new, and that's what I'm finding. Even at my last party, one of the guests said, "Oh, this is so much better than a dot 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 party." And so, I mean, it's really fun that, I think that this is new and something different. What keeps me going is, I kind of am liking that I'm earning commission. I've been in retail before and always kind of had a retail job as a part-time job in addition to my full-time job, but it helped me support my, clothing habit. And I would spend all the money that I made back into the clothes and, of course, get the discount, but I would always be in the red. And so this is the first time I've ever made money being in retail. And then it's also really fun getting together with women. The last party that I had, I just felt so honored that the hostess trusted me enough to invite me into her home and meet her friends. And I mean, I think that's just like, it's a special feeling. And, and that the women are comfortable enough to, talk and share stories and in front of me, who I'm a stranger to them. And I just think that that's really cool. And so I think that's what keeps me going.
Well, thanks, Ellen, and you do such an awesome job. So I appreciate your sharing on the call. And Ellen has graciously volunteered her time. I'm going to put you back on mute, Ellen, and let me know if there's anything. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh, whoops, I muted myself instead of Ellen. Wait one sec. Ellen's going to be with us again this evening. So any questions that you think of during the day, if something pops up, then please join us again at 5:45 Pacific time. But before we go, I have some other things to share. And let me just, Lisa had a comment too about the women, wine, and Winnie and Cat equals brilliant combination. Everyone loves it because it's new and it's a concise collection. I think that's really important, that concise collection. It's easy to make purchasing decisions that will work with what's already in their wardrobes. I think that it's that, like the slide says, it's that focus and the determination and the domination. So we're starting with this focus of offering, I'm not about offering everything under the kitchen sink. I don't want to do that. I want to offer a concise collection that's going to change your life. It's going to simplify your life, and it's going to make it easier to get dressed in the morning. We all have so many distractions in our lives. And with, and you can think about that everywhere in the business. So think about that, how it relates to your customer. So, I personally, I think it's a pain in the neck to go to the mall, or to go here to get this and there to get this. And, I would just assume have my Winnie and Cat, and it's easy. I always kind of know my go-to pieces. I throw on accessories. I put on a jean jacket or whatever. And, it makes life easier. And that's one of the things that we do. It's one of those value adds. And that goes to thinking about your business too. And to just, as you keep focusing, and that's why we offer the trainings that we do. And Ellen, Ellen said jokingly, or, broken record, but, what it is it's focus. And that's something that takes a lot of discipline. And that whole, like, getting to that focus part, the Zen feeling that where we all want to get, that can be harder than trying new things all the time. There's that discipline, if you think about like a monk, they don't do much, right? But it's finding that discipline through our lives that gets harder and harder. Whatever it is, if you're balancing a full-time job and a husband, if you're balancing a full-time job and dating, you know, you might be single again, or if you're balancing kids and a husband, you know, if you have maybe a parent, maybe your parent needs care. You know, there's all these things in our lives, and then there's Facebook, and then there's, you know, there's so many different distractions and so many ways that can pull our time. And when we go back to the basics, and you know what, and 6 weeks to success it works, you know, and it's kind of cheesy looking, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's not state of the art. It's a worksheet, it's a workbook that you can print out, and but keep on going back, because it's the stylists, you know, it's the stylists who do it, and it's the words of, you know, just those tweaks that are in there. And so what I want to focus on this month is sharpening your tools, what you have. And I want to give you all the freedom of not having the burden and the responsibility of creating other things. And I want you to give yourself that kind of that relief to go back to the basics. And whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned stylist, like some of you on the call, we've got Ellen and Sheila and let's see, Alicia, Anastasia have all been with us for pretty much since the beginning. And we've got new stylists on the call. We've got Yvette, Shantae, Lisa, Chandra, Kat, Amy. You know, we've got that great combination of newer and seasoned stylists and experienced stylists. And the reason why we're offering the boot camp is because that's an advanced level. And the reason why we focus and we tell you to do the 6 to 8 parties is because you need that kind of canvas to practice. You know, and it's all about that practicing. And like Ellen said, you know, she's going to have 20 shows a month next year. And it's that constant practice that's going to make you get better. And you're able to go back to the 6 weeks and look at what you need to work on. Okay? And this month, I'm going to ask you to focus on 2 things, okay? And it's from your parties, okay? So you've got to have the bookings. And like I said on that email I sent yesterday, if you want to use Winnie and Kat as a hobby, that's great. You know, if you don't want 6 to 8 parties, you know, that's fine. That's cool. You know, like the stylists, some stylists have 1 a month. And that's awesome. You know, you're really important to me, and I want you to have fun with however you want to use the company. Those of you who want more, those of you who want to be here because of the ground floor opportunity and who see that, you know, as part of your plan, the parties are going to help you. When you have the parties, that's like a playing field where you can sharpen your skills. Okay? So I might go over about 5 minutes, so I'm sorry about that. This month, there's a lot of parties on the books. We have 58 scheduled in October, okay? And there's a lot of room for more. So put your parties on the books and go back to those parts on 6 weeks to success on recruiting from shows and booking from shows. And here's another thing that I want you to think about when you're at your shows. I want you to think about, when you're at your shows, the responsibility you have to the other women in the room. Some of those women are thinking about joining your team. Probably most of the women in the room are thinking about and wondering if they could do what you do. Now, when you're at the party, when you ask, when when you ask about bookings and recruiting, you're asking for bookings and you're asking for women to join your team. I want you to use this mindset. It's your responsibility to do these things because you're training those women who are not yet on your team, because they're looking at you and they're thinking about if they could do it, and you're giving them the roadmap on how to do it. So think about that, kind of put yourself in that mindset, and that's gonna help you. Think about that you're providing a service. That's gonna help you. And every time you talk to a recruit, every time you have an interaction with a customer, think about when they're on your team, how you're going to best help them. Okay, couple of updates, company updates. And again, join us again tonight. That would be awesome. Love it. Chick Launcher, I'm super nervous. It was incredible. I got to go up in front of a giant room of people. I had 5 minutes to talk about Winnie and Kat and share all of the exciting things that we're doing and where we want to go. Most of you know I'm raising money so that we can improve our online experience, put in better technology, and so that we can invest in branding and hire a sales leadership manager who will be able to travel and really help you develop your leadership skills. So I'm really excited, and I'm also trying to treat it like, when I tell you all to have lots of parties on the books, and don't treat one party like it's the big party. So, I don't know if I'm going to be a finalist or not, or, if Winnie and Kat is going to be a finalist. I think we find out today. I'm not sure. I'm totally nervous. I'll probably, I don't know what I'm going to do if we're not. I'll be really disappointed. But I have a lot of other conversations lined up. Just like I tell you, have 6 to 8 parties on the books because you're going to have those flops. So we don't know yet. It's not in my hands anymore right now. And but I think it was pretty killer. And having that backing from all of you, and all those comments on Facebook. Oh my gosh! If you haven't gone on there yet on the Chick Launcher Facebook, that was just, you are all just, I can't even tell you how much that meant to me. And knowing that I had that support, and I'm sure that the Chick Launcher organization saw that as well. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for making it possible. Thank you for letting me slip in those financials that had September on it, and that had that massive growth. And it's only going to help us get the tools that we need. And you probably saw that we were approved members of the Direct Selling Association last month. And I was invited to come meet the DSA and speak in front of, meet the board at their next meeting. And that's really exciting. The Direct Selling Association, that's kind of what, when you search how to find a direct sales company, you want a company that's part of the DSA. It means that we are we've been in business for at least a year. We applied over a year. I think we applied 18 months ago, and they totally scrutinize us. They look over everything with a fine-tooth comb. They make sure that we're following the best practices and procedures of we're following the code of ethics of the Direct Sales Association, and that's really important. And now I feel like we're playing with the big girls, and all of those companies that you all know about. We're part of that. So it's a whole new league. So I'm really excited about that. Remember the fresh start, okay? And one more thing. I know I'm totally going over. I'm really sorry about that. It'll be recorded if you need to go. I understand, but I hope you can stay on for a couple more minutes. Fresh start, look at fresh start. Okay, and it's not just, I was thinking about this when I was lying in bed last night. It's not just about the Gucci tote, which is pretty awesome. You can ask Mary. But the other thing that Mary got from that, everything that we do is designed to help you grow your business and to help you have the tools you need. So did you know that besides that $1,000 Gucci tote that Mary got, when Mary did her 18 parties in 90 days, she got 3 new team members who are all either power sellers or almost power sellers. That's what happened. That was the real result. Besides the fact that Mary gets to walk around with the Gucci tote and tell everybody, it's like our mini starter car program. You can tell everybody that you got your tote bag from Winnie and Kat. but Mary got, to feel really good about herself. She got a lot of commission, and she also got a team, and they're phenomenal. These women, oh my gosh, everyone on Mary's team who's joined is hitting it out of the park. So, look at the Fresh Start, look at the tools we have, and I think I'm going to stop. I think that's it right now. But just reach out to us. Join us again tonight. Make sure everybody knows. The call will be recorded, and you can share it. Let everybody know what happens at Winnie and Kat. Let everybody know how they can take part too. Get your shows on the books. If you need help, call Tiff. Okay, talk to Tiff. Whichever area you need help with, do your 6 weeks to success. Okay, that is like if leadership is boot camp, 6 weeks to success is basic training. So do your basic training. Okay, everybody, focus. I don't have a quote because I'm just a focus, determination, domination. That's our next step, okay? Domination. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining the call. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all your comments and questions, and have just a fantastic and productive week. Goodbye, everybody.